Nairobi.
Now, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions is on the spot once again over its decision to withdraw some graft-related cases, signaling that the war on corruption could be losing momentum. Questions have been raised regarding the motivation for DPP Noordin Haji to drop the cases in the last 1 week or so. So, is it lack of evidence that the cases are crumbling, or is it pressure from some quarters? Well, the Law Society has today given the DPP 3 days to give Kenyans a detailed explanation why he is withdrawing the cases or face unexplained consequences. The office of the DPP is, however, yet to respond to this demand, as Fred Kagonye reports.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, Noordin Haji, has found himself on the receiving end, following his decision to let off the hook some big names facing corruption charges over what he called lack of evidence. On Wednesday, he withdrew cases against Aisha Jumwa, cabinet nominee for gender, former Samburu Governor Moses Lenol Kulal, as well as former Kenya Power Chief Executive Ben Chumo and his predecessor Ken Tarus.
And we call upon the DPP to actually ensure that within the next 3 days, he is able to give explanations to the country. And in the event that those explanations then are not given, the Law Society will advise on the next course of action that it is going to take, because the reasons are well within his docket.
The move has raised alarm with opposition leaders and lately the Law Society of Kenya questioning them.
By the recent decisions by the DPP, as they point to either two very disturbing scenarios. One, that the prosecutions were mounted for ulterior purposes whose end have been achieved or overtaken by events, or two, that the DPP has withdrawn the cases to aid an ulterior motive.
LSK says that some of the arrests were dramatic and that the DPP had all the time to review the case files and offer recommendations to investigating agencies. The withdrawal of the cases now is suspicious, according to LSK.
We similarly call on the judiciary and especially the magistrates handling the cases to insist on the DPP providing credible and cogent reasons before allowing the discontinuation of the charges.
LSK is now threatening unspecified action against the DPP if he does not respond to their concern within 3 days. For the time being, the LSK wants the National Assembly Appointments Committee that will vet cabinet appointees not to approve any nominee with integrity questions. Just yesterday, some legislators hit out at the DPP for the withdrawal of graft cases, saying it shows the country is losing the war on graft. Some of the questions being raised is whether the office of the DPP is under pressure. If yes, from whom and for what reason? If not, why did the DPP office accept weak graft cases that cannot stand the test of legal scrutiny?
How then tomorrow can we say that he is exercising the functions of his office independently and for the purposes for which the office has been set up? That should be the question.
For now, the office of the DPP has not come out to explain its position. Fred Kagonye, KTN News.
That story leads us to the big question tonight. Is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions slowing down the fight against corruption? Is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions slowing down the fight against corruption? Kindly give us your response on the short code 22155. You can also respond to the same on Twitter at KTN News KE. Use the hashtag KTN Prime. Now, President William Ruto has signed an executive order on the reorganization of government, making